Students, today we can start studying about the small intestine. So in the digestive system, we already studied mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach. The next topic is small intestine. Okay. And here we can see this is up to here. We already seen here comes the stomach, and the stomach continues downward as small intestine. So this is our small intestine. And here we can see after the small intestines comes the large intestine. Okay, large intestine. Then finally ends into rectum and anal canal. So first is the small intestine. Small intestine, from the name itself we can see it is small compared to the large intestine. Means in case of width only. Okay. So but in case of length, the small intestine is longer than the large intestine. So it is about 6 meters long. So small intestine is 6 meter in length, and it is divided into 3 parts. There is an upper portion which is a C-shaped portion that is known as duodenum. So this part, see, up to here comes the stomach. From here to here, this is the stomach here. Then after the stomach, we can see this portion, starting portion of the small intestine, the C-shaped structure, this one. So this is known as duodenum. Duodenum. Okay, C-shaped duodenum. Then after the duodenum, we can see small intestine is highly coiled. So here we can see the small intestine is highly coiled portion. This portion, this is the freely movable part of the small intestine, and the upper part, the upper 2/5 of this portion, this coiled part, this is known as jejunum. Jejunum, and lower 3/5 is known as ileum. This is the ileum. So small intestine is divided into 3 parts. Upper, there is a C-shaped portion that is known as duodenum. Then comes jejunum. Then comes ileum. Ileum. So duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Okay. So we will learn about the duodenum first. So this is duodenum. Here we can see it's a C-shaped structure, and it has a length of about 25 centimeter. So if among the 6 meters, 25 centimeter is formed by duodenum. Okay, this is the duodenum. So we can see it is this is the pancreas. So pancreas can be seen inside the C-shaped loop of the duodenum. Okay, and this one, the duodenum is divided into 4 parts. The first part, this is first part, which can be seen attached to the pyloric part of the stomach, pyloric end of the stomach. So this part of the duodenum is known as first part of the duodenum. This is the first part. Up to here was the stomach. This is actually the pyloric part. This one, up to here is the pyloric end. Then this portion, this is the first part of duodenum, and here comes second part, that is vertical part. Then there will be a horizontal part, that is third part, and there is a fourth part which is going upward again, fourth part. So 4 part, first part, second part, third part, and fourth part of the duodenum. Then we can see 2 flexures. Here there is a junction between, that is bending. Flexure means bending can be seen. So there will be a bending between the first part and the second part. So this is known as superior duodenal flexure. Superior duodenal flexure. Same like here also we can see between the second part and the third part, one bending can be seen. So this is known as inferior duodenal flexure. So superior duodenal flexure and inferior duodenal flexure. So this first part is only 5 centimeter in length, 5 centimeter, and the second part it is 7.3 centimeter or 7.5 centimeter in length. Then this horizontal part, this part is 10 centimeter in length, and the upper part, ascending part, again this portion, this is 2.5 centimeter in length. So this is the measurement of different parts, 4 parts of the duodenum. First part 5 centimeter, second part 7.5 centimeter, third part 10 centimeter, then fourth part 2.5 centimeter. Then among these parts, mostly this duodenum is the retroperitoneum. It is seen behind the peritoneum, and the 2 ends are suspended, or all the parts are fixed part, except 2 part which is suspended by this peritoneum. first part of duodenum. First part, it is a continuation of the pyloric end of the stomach. Then at the superior duodenal flexure, it will be continuous with the second part of the duodenum. And we can see what are the relations of the first part. So here we can see this is our duodenum, this one, okay, duodenum, and here this is our liver, this is our large intestine, here comes the small intestine, okay. Then this C-shaped portion, this is the duodenum. So here we can see this is the anterior relation of the first part. So the first part, this is the first part of the duodenum. Here we can see it is anteriorly related to liver. So this is our liver. Then you can see here this is the gallbladder. So anteriorly the first part is related to liver and gallbladder. First part anteriorly. In this picture we can see posterior relation of the first part. This is first part of duodenum. So posteriorly we can see it is related to portal vein. This is the portal vein, and this is bile duct. It is related to portal vein, bile duct, and one artery. This is known as gastroduodenal artery. So posteriorly the first part is related to portal vein, bile duct, and gastroduodenal artery. Posterior relation of the first part. And inferiorly we can see the first part is related to our pancreas. This is the pancreas. Here comes the head of the pancreas. So inferiorly it is related to head of the pancreas. That's all about the first part. Then comes the second part, that is the vertical part. So it begins at the superior duodenal flexure and ends at the inferior duodenal flexure. And this portion is at the level of L1 to L3 vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae. It lies at the level of L1 to L3 lumbar vertebrae. And we can see what are the relations of the second part. Again, the same diagram we can see. This is the duodenum and this is large intestine. So this is the ascending column. Large intestine will be, again we will study in detail. This will be the ascending column. This is transverse column. Okay. So anteriorly the second part is related to liver. Here we can see this related to liver. Then comes the transverse colon of the large intestine. Then comes the small intestine. So three structures, liver, transverse colon, and small intestine comes anteriorly to the second part. And second part posteriorly we can see. Posteriorly the second part, this is our kidney. Okay, posteriorly second part is related to a right kidney, then right renal vessels, then right psoas major muscle, then part of our inferior vena cava. Okay, so right kidney, right renal vessels, psoas major muscle, and inferior vena cava. That is posterior relation of the second part. Then next is the third part of the duodenum. This is the third part, the horizontal part of the duodenum. So it will start from the inferior duodenal flexure and passes towards the left side. Then it ends in front of the abdominal aorta. This is the aorta. So just in front of the aorta it will end. This is the horizontal part or third part of the duodenum. We can see the relations now. In this diagram we can see this is the third part and anterior relation. So anteriorly we can see this horizontal part is crossed by two vessels, that is superior mesenteric vein and superior mesenteric artery. So both crosses in front of the third part of the duodenum. So anteriorly it is related to superior mesenteric vein and superior mesenteric artery along with the peritoneum, that is mesenteric, root of mesenteric. So that is the anterior relation. Then posterior relations of the third part, from right to left you can see this is the right ureter. This is our kidney. So here comes the ureter. So right ureter. Here we can see the psoas major muscle. This is psoas major muscle. Then comes inferior vena cava. Then comes the abdominal aorta with the gonadal arteries. This is the gonadal arteries, right and left. Then gonadal arteries means testicular artery or ovarian artery. Okay. So these are the posterior relations from right to left. So right ureter, psoas major muscle, inferior vena cava, abdominal aorta with gonadal vessels. And also we can see inferior mesenteric artery starting point. Okay, these are the posterior relations of the third part of the duodenum. Then comes the fourth part. This fourth part we can see it starts from the end of the third part, that is near to the left end of the abdominal aorta. Then it ascends upward and ends in the duodenojejunal flexure. Another bending we can see. So this is jejunum, starting point of jejunum. So junction between the duodenum and jejunum. So this bending is known as duodenojejunal flexure. Duodenojejunal flexure. And relations anteriorly we can see it will be this is our transverse colon, cut end. So anteriorly it is related to our transverse colon, like this transverse colon will go transverse colon, this one. Okay. Then comes the stomach, where the stomach will be seen covering the fourth part, stomach and transverse colon, along with the transverse mesocolon. Mesocolon is the peritoneal fold of transverse colon. So transverse mesocolon, transverse colon and stomach is related to the anterior part of the fourth part, anteriorly. Then fourth part, posterior relation. This is our fourth part. Posteriorly we can see it is related to our left sympathetic chain. Then it will be related to the inferior mesenteric vein, and it is related to left renal artery and gonadal artery. So posteriorly it is related to sympathetic chain, inferior mesenteric vein, left renal vessels, then gonadal vessels. Fourth part, posterior relation. Next is the interior of duodenum, and if you are seeing if we cut and open the duodenum, so interior portion, that is we can see inside the duodenum the mucosa again forms transverse circular fold can be seen. Circularly arranged fold can be seen. They are known as plica circularis. So plica circularis, or it is known as Kerckring, valves of Kerckring. They are known as valves of Kerckring or plica circularis. Yep. And we can see towards the second part of the duodenum. This is second part. This is first part. This is first part of the duodenum. And in the first part, we can see the first part forms a cap-like structure here. First part of the duodenum is seen like a cap. Yep. And here plica is not that much prominent in the first part, but in the second part we can see prominent plica circularis, and third part also. Okay. And in the second part, in addition to the plica circularis, we can see two small papillae or projections can be seen. See this one, one here, that is known as major duodenal papillae. So here we can see a small opening where we can see the this is produced by this is our bile duct, this is pancreatic duct. So the opening of the bile duct can be seen in the second part of the duodenum as a small projection, that is known as major duodenal papillae. Yeah. So the bile duct is opens into the major duodenal papillae, and here above the major duodenal papillae, here we can see one more small opening or small projection, that is known as minor duodenal papillae. So to the minor duodenal papillae, the accessory duct, here we can see accessory duct of the pancreas. This is pancreas. Actually pancreas has two ducts, one main duct and the accessory duct. So accessory duct of pancreas opens into the minor duodenal papillae. So the interior of the second part has two projections, that is known as major duodenal papillae and minor duodenal papillae. Okay. So these are the features in the interior aspect of the duodenum. Okay, plica circularis or valves of Kerckring, then major duodenal papillae, then minor duodenal papillae. Major and minor duodenal papillae can be seen. Then blood supply of duodenum. It is supplied mainly by the superior pancreatico-duodenal artery and inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries. And it also gives get additional supplies from the gastric arteries, right gastric arteries, and also from the supraduodenal artery. Then venous drainage. Veins drain from the duodenum drains into the splenic veins, superior mesenteric vein, and also into the portal vein. Venous drainage. For the lymphatic drainage, most part of the duodenum drains into the pancreatico-duodenal lymph nodes, and finally into the hepatic lymph nodes, and then finally into the celiac lymph nodes. Then nerve supply. So nerve supply by autonomic nervous system by the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. Sympathetic nerves from the 9th thoracic and 10th thoracic spinal segments from T9 and T10. Okay. Parasympathetic nerves through vagus. Parasympathetic by vagus and sympathetic by T9 and T10 spinal segments. And histology or microscopic structure, we can see innermost part it is lined by mucosa, then next layer is submucosa. The submucosa of the duodenum, we can see a special type of glands, they are known as Brunner's gland. In the submucosa, and then comes the muscular layer. So in the muscular layer it is inner circular layer and outer will be longitudinal muscle layer. Inner circular and outer longitudinal muscle layer can be seen. Okay. And so this is the histological diagram, and here we can see this is the mucosa, and here comes submucosa. This is submucosa, and this is muscular layer, and here comes the serosal layer. In the mucosa we can see a villi like or finger shaped projections can be seen. They are known as villi. Finger shaped projections can be seen in the mucosa. They are known as villi. So here we can see these are the villi. So villi helps in the absorption. So if it is folded, it is seen like a fingers of our hand. So it increases the surface area of absorption. So they are known as villi. So villi helps in the absorption of nutrients. Okay. So we can see different villi in the mucosa. Okay. Below the mucosa, this is submucosa. Here we can see a special type of mucus glands. They are known as Brunner's gland. This is Brunner's gland. Okay. Below the Brunner's gland comes the muscular layer. The muscular layer, inner there will be circular layer and outer longitudinal muscle fibers can be seen, and the outermost there is a serosal cord that is known as serosa. Okay. So these are the histology of duodenum. To the applied aspect of the duodenum. So first part of the duodenum, it is seen at near to our pyloric end of the stomach. So this first part of the duodenum is the common site of ulcer usually, because we have already seen peptic ulcer mostly seen in the pyloric end. So first part is near to the pyloric end. So this is the first part is common site for the ulcer. Then if we are taking the contrast X-ray. Contrast X-ray means after injecting the barium, after giving barium meal, radioactive substances, and if we are taking the X-ray after giving meal with barium, this first part of the duodenum, this first part will be seen like a cap. So in this diagram we can see this is the stomach, this is pyloric end of the stomach, and here this is the first part of the duodenum. So if we are giving the barium meal, stomach will be filled with barium, and here we can see the first part seen like a cap if we are taking the radiograph. Okay. This is known as duodenal cap. And carcinoma also can be seen affecting the duodenum. Carcinoma. Okay. So these are the applied aspect for the duodenum.